This video explains how to access the first or last element of a pandas data frame in the Python programming language. So without too much talk, let's dive into the Python code. As a first step, we need to import the pandas library, as you can see in the first code snippet. So after running this line of code, we are able to use the functions of the pandas library, and we are also able to use the data frame constructor, as you can see in the next code snippet. And in this part of the code, we are creating a new data frame, which is called data, and we are also printing this data frame below the code snippet. So as you can see below the code snippet, our data frame contains 5 rows and 4 columns, which are called x1, x2, x3 and x4. Now let's assume that we want to return only the very first row of this data frame. Then we can apply the code that you can see in the third code snippet. And in this code snippet, I'm using the iloc attribute. And within this attribute, I'm specifying that I want to return only the very first row. But I also specify that I want to keep all the columns. So if you run these lines of code, a new output is returned. And as you can see, this output contains all the columns of our input data frame, but only the first row of the input data frame. It's also possible to return only the first value of a certain column, as you can see in the next example. So in this case, I'm once again using the iloc attribute. However, I'm specifying that I want to keep only the very first index position, and I'm also specifying that I want to extract the column x3. So after running these lines of code, another data object is created, which is called column first element, and this data object contains only the letter A, which is the value in the column x3 at the first index position. It's also possible to return only the last index position of a data frame, as you can see in the next code snippet. So in this code snippet, I'm once again using the iloc attribute, and then I'm also using the len function to return the length of our data frame, and I'm specifying that I want to return only the very last index position of our data frame, but in this case I want to keep all the columns of our data frame. So after running these lines of code, another output is returned, which is showing only the last row of our data frame. Similar to the previous example, we can also print only the last element of a certain column in our data frame, and we can do that, as you can see in the next code snippet. So in this case, I'm once again extracting the column x3, and then I'm extracting the last index position from this column. So in this case, the value E is the value that is contained in the last index position of the column x3. That's all I wanted to explain in this video. In case you want to learn more on this topic, you may check out my homepage, statisticsglobe.com, because on my homepage I have recently published a tutorial in which I'm explaining the content of this video in some more detail. I will put a link to this tutorial into the description of the video, so you can find it there. If you have liked this video or if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below. I'll try to respond to all comments as soon as I can. Furthermore, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get notified about future video releases. I have already published about 500 videos on this channel, and I'm releasing new videos on a daily basis. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next video.